Hi campers, my name is Mikey and this is
Smiley.
And together we are Smiles for Miles RV Life. I know it's been a while since we've given you an update as to what's going on in our lives, so this is that update. All right, first things first, folks. Part of life is your family maturing. When we mature, we have to expand a lot of things, such as our vehicle fleet. We have now 2 teenagers that are driving. A little bit scary, a little bit cool, but here, right behind us, is the first of 2 vehicles that we had to purchase. You ready? Ta-da! This is a 2018 Ford Escape. It is new to us. It is a pain in the butt to work on. I spent about 4 hours changing the battery in it the other day. Let me tell you, it's a mess. Behind us is vehicle number 2. That's right, number 2, folks. I'm trying not to block your face in the shot. And it is, of course,
A Jeep!
another 2018 model Jeep, which so far has not been a pain in the neck to work on, so far. All right, after buying those 2 new to us vehicles, a friend of mine from up north gave me an email, sent me an email, which said, boy, do we have an offer you can't refuse. So, we have our own teardrop. We went and purchased our own teardrop after purchasing 2 new to us vehicles. I'm not saying it wasn't easy, because it wasn't. But boy, did we get a great deal. More on that in a little bit. All right, here we are. Here's the garden. And the last time I believe you saw this, it was only the stuff up here, which were tiny little seedlings. This bad boy right here, this zucchini is really starting to pile up, isn't he? And then we have all of the cucumbers that I planted. Now everything, if you do recall, I have planted from seed. Everything in this garden currently, I planted from seed. I started it inside for a while. And I do have a little bit of footage on that, and I'll share that with you in this video as well. But for the most part, we're starting to get some tomato blooms here. These are my Romas. I'm really excited about that. Okay. All right, and then we've got a tiny little guy here. I'm not sure he's gonna do too well, but we have his big brother right here that's just vining out everywhere. And then we've got a tiny zucchini here, a bigger zucchini here, and the big mamba jamba zucchini apparently down here. And the great thing about this one is that it's already starting to produce, which is wonderful because Smiley loves zucchini. She also loves cucumbers, which is why I plant so many of these things. I just want to provide all the things for my wifey. Let's see how we're doing here with any of these cucumbers. Some of these leaves don't look too healthy. I might have to come back at it. But yeah, so this is the garden. And like I said last time you saw it, it was just a tiny, we gotta, look at this bad boy. We have our first cucumber. We got another one over here, right here. Ooh, that's a nice one. That's a real nice one. Okay, that's about ready to pick too. Okay, we got 2 cucumbers. Okay, anything over here yet? Just that one. We're working on it. There's a little teeny tiny one back there. I don't think you can see it. We're working, we're getting there. All right, cool. All right, so a little gardening trick that I have learned in the past couple of years is if you have tomatoes that have blossoms and you haven't had any really windy days or anything for cross-pollination, if you just tap on your cage a little bit, it'll go ahead and spread some of that pollen and pollinate each other. And I don't know if you can hear the puppies, but they're inside going crazy right now. They are crate trained, and they sleep in their crates overnight. But that means that in the mornings, they get a little cray-cray because the energy that they have, because they're still puppies. So I'll just go by and tap all these cages for a hot minute. Couple of seconds really, and after that we'll go ahead and take a look at the other yellow squash that we have going on. My pepper seedlings, my bell pepper seedlings did not actually do anything. I think I transplanted them too soon, which is a little sad, but you know, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't. Okay, so down here next to my big rosemary plant that I planted a few years back and has survived all of the freezes in winter, we have our little yellow squash here, and then we have two more over here. So looks like starting to get some buds here. Yeah. So that's the garden in its current form. I do have a little tomato seedling here that I need to figure out where to put. So that's going to be a little bit more of a challenge, but I'll figure it out. Maybe I'll put it on the other side of the rosemary or something. But that's another later moment. So onward to the next thing. Okay, y'all, so when I said cleaning out the garage, this is what I'm talking about. It's a lot of stuff, and we just started purging last weekend. We had a garage sale, and of course some of this stuff isn't going, but hopefully a really big bit of it is. They just stopped by to take away the donations that we were able to put out last night. And as you can tell, there's still a good bit more to go through. And obviously this is all just to be, you know, clear with everybody that follows us on the channel. We are severely clearing out everything that we possibly can. This was an undertaking just to get it to this spot. So when we get to the point of actually fitting something in here, which coming soon to a theater near you, we will hopefully be able to do that soon. It's just a lot to undertake in a little amount of time that we have to get it done. And we've been working on it for 2 weekends straight. And yeah, there you go. So here we are. That's the big project. More on that later. Hi campers. It is time to fill you in on the last 9 months of my life. So here we are for Smiles for Miles story time, or story time with Smiles for Miles. So about 9 months ago, I started having pain in my shoulder at work. And I didn't really think of it, I didn't really think any of it at first. but it ended up being pretty much a what sports people would call a season-ending injury. Went to the doc. The doc said, "Hey, you should get that looked at," basically, and I said, "Okay." A couple weeks later, turns out that we had an MRI, or we had an X-ray done. They couldn't find anything really on that, so that's good news, right? That's what I thought until they ordered an MRI, and the MRI showed a tear in what I'm going to say, compass rose stuff. So compass rose direction on the north side, and a tear on the south side of my rotator cuff lining. Okay. What it didn't show, of course, was arthritis on the inner side and a bone spur on the outer side or edge of my shoulder. So after about a month, I went to go see a surgeon, and the surgeon said, "Why don't we try steroids to see if it would, a steroid shot, to see if it would help out with the pain, maybe help regenerate the tears in the shoulder." That didn't actually help, and it took a whole month longer to get to that point of realizing that it didn't help. What was actually going on is the tears inside of the shoulder, both on the north and south, were rubbing against the shoulder bones. So it's a socket that goes like this, and every time I moved my shoulder, it would move against the rib, or the tear rather, and the tear would flap inside there and create pain. So another month goes by, and I finally get into surgery, and that's in October of last year, so October of 2025. The surgeon said everything went well, everything went great, the tears are repaired. When they went in, they actually found the bone spur and the arthritis, and they took care of those two things as well. So all things considered, my shoulder is going to be so much better when everything is finally healed. So I go, I don't know, I can't even remember now, but it's been a total of 9 months, and just at the beginning of this week, or the end of last week rather, I was finally cleared to be able to go back to full work status. This whole time I have either been on leave, medical, or on what is it called? I was transferred into another position that wouldn't necessarily allow me or need me to move my shoulder around as much so that it could heal. Needless to say, I wasn't getting as many hours. I wasn't able to do anything that I originally really wanted to be able to do. And it was very, very difficult, not only because I was at work not doing my work, but also because it was still extremely painful. The healing process from this is very hard. So knowing that I'm finally able to go back to work starting tomorrow, Sunday, is a very, very welcoming and happy moment for me. It has been a hard, long road to get healed, and I'm still not 100%, but I'm good enough to go back to work. The hard part is to remember that I'm still healing, and I still can't do the things that I was able to do before I went out on medical. That said, I am super happy to be going back to my original job, doing the things that I love doing. So all of these things, so the two new vehicles to us, the new teardrop RV that we're so happy to have. Thank you to Shay and Mark up north. And me going back to work full-time status, you know, as a full-time worker again. All of these things have accumulated in the last few weeks, which is why here we are. We haven't been able to provide you with video content. So expect that we're going to also trying to be doing weekly content again. And in the meantime, here we go. Thanks, everybody.